Hello, my name is Gregory Parks, and you are watching CONLink. Our next guest is one of the originals, a comic book artist who's worked on such books as Young Justice and Doctor Who. Please welcome Christopher Jones.
Hello, hello. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here with familiar faces.
Yes. Thank you for Connie as well.
Oh.
We thank you. Connie thanks you. And, of course, we thank you for being one of the people involved with the birth of CONvergence.
One of many,
Yes.
but yeah, definitely there at the beginning, which seems in some ways like yesterday and in some ways like much longer than 20 years ago. But yeah, I was there. It was exciting.
Yeah, but now here it is almost, well, it's old enough to vote.
Yeah, frighteningly enough, yes, yes.
So after all of these years, after various degrees of involvement, what does CONvergence mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's still obviously a convention I wouldn't miss. I am not as heavily involved organizationally as I used to be, but I still like to provide artwork for it. I'm still involved with organizing opening and closing ceremonies. But yeah, I mean, it's the convention that feels like home. It's the convention where I have more friends than, I mean, I do on average like a dozen conventions a year that I'm attending or tabling at as a comics artist or something. And you know, CONvergence is always, I mean, it's not even at the top of that heap. It's in its own separate category. It's home. It's where, you know, it's the family reunion, and I can't imagine that changing anytime soon.
Beautiful. So what do you see in CONvergence's future? Do you spend time thinking about that, or well, when you think of CONvergence's future, what comes to mind? What hopes spring up?
Well, you know, we said from early days that we wanted the convention, we planned for the convention to evolve, that it was going to have to change with what fandom wanted, with what was cool and exciting at the time. Taking advantage of new technologies as they come along for organization and communication and all of that. And you know, you can't plan for exactly what that's going to be. You kind of have to take it as it comes, but you have to be open to the change. And you know, we couldn't have imagined back in 1998 and 99 when we were organizing the first convention what 2018 was going to look like.
Yeah.
But it's changed a lot. So, you know, I would hope that would continue. I hope that, you know, as we have our inevitable ups and downs, that we still end up getting it right in the end and growing and getting better at what we do. I definitely want to keep being more inviting and inclusive and accessible. I think that's one of the things that we've been making strides in recent years, and I want to see that continue. But, you know, other than that, I just hope it continues to be something where people feel welcome and it's a lot of fun and it just keeps going and going.
Well, it's definitely still going.
Yeah.
Nice and strong. So what is the story of the part that you played in the creation of CONvergence? Well,
I mean, obviously a lot of people made it happen and everyone had their own path to it. But for me, the convention started in my living room. Leslie Powell was someone that was wanting to, well, let me step back. MiniCon, which has now been going for just about 50 years, at the time was a young, spry convention of 30. And they had publicly announced plans to restructure and refocus and kind of get back to more the kind of convention that they had started out being, which had a lot of people feeling like the convention that they had come to love was changing, was shutting them out, that there wasn't a place for them. And that created an environment where it was very ripe to have someone come in and start something new. You know, both CONvergence and MarsCon got organized in that same window of time out of that environment. You know, there was initially a lot of anxiety and people getting upset about, like, what can we do to stop this from happening? And very quickly it became apparent, well, you're not going to stop it from happening. It's their convention. They can do what they want. So the people that really got involved with CONvergence were the ones who decided that it was better to focus on why don't we just start our own thing and try to provide a home for the things that people are afraid of losing as Minicon changes. But we don't have to be an imitation of any form of Minicon there's ever been. We can be something new and hopefully better and exciting and something for the future. And Leslie was one of the number of people that were having these thoughts, but even though she didn't have any convention organizing experience, kind of planted the flag about having a meeting to talk about, can we go organize something and make something happen. And the first meeting ended up being in my living room, and a lot of the key players who formed the initial board all ended up being there. And in the earliest conversations, I wasn't going to be one of the directors, one of the board members. I volunteered that I would help create some artwork and do some publications and things like that, but I wasn't going to be involved. But partly just due to my nature, I just slowly got more committed and more involved and wanted to really take a handle on the marketing and the branding and all of that, which, out of which came the idea of a mascot character. And when Connie was being conceived of, certainly the hope was that she was going to be popular. I never imagined it would evolve into what it has. I've been to a lot of conventions. I've not seen another convention where the mascot is the presence that Connie is. I never imagined walking into a hotel and having this robot plastered all over the building. But no, we knew we wanted to organize this convention, and we wanted to give ourselves plenty of time. We didn't want it to be a rush job. So after looking at venue availability and just what seemed like the best time of year to organize the con, it became apparent that we wanted to do something summer and probably the beginning of July, probably July 4th weekend. And that was close enough that even though it was still a few months away and we could maybe have thrown together a convention by July of '98, we decided, no, we're going to plan for July of '99 and have a long time to raise money and organize and do all the things you have to do for a first-year convention. And that, I think, ended up being a really good call, because we were initially hoping for an attendance the first year of maybe like 500 people, and we ended up having that much in pre-registrations before we were a year out. So we knew to start planning for something a little larger.
Oh, excellent. Giving you that little bit of information that helped you be more successful.
Well, part of what was great about the situation we were in is that we not only had the time to organize, but because there were a lot of people that kind of felt displaced by what was happening at Minicon, there was a lot of talent out there that had experience for doing things. And what we were able to do is a lot of the directors, first of all, none of us, the initial board of directors, knew each other before this all started. We thought, a lot of people got the perception that we've been friends for a long time. It's like, no, we became friends through doing this. And we, it
was forged in fire, figuratively, that your relationships were forged by the process.
And a lot of that group, not all of us, but a lot of that group had a theater background. So a lot of it got approached as, we're putting on a show.
My grandpa's got a barn.
But we weren't just organizing it out of this sense of fan tradition of, oh, this is how this stuff always gets done at a convention. We were like taking a step back and saying, no, we're looking at crowd management. We're looking at keeping people entertained. What's the best and smartest way to do that? And then because there was this pool of the base of volunteers that we're pulling from for the first convention committee, we we had all this experience that some people could tell us, oh, that's a great idea, we never thought of that, or that's a horrible idea, and let's explain to you why that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that really was a great leg up on trying to organize something that was a little fresh and new and different, but wasn't this completely crazy, untried, doomed to failure kind of thing.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you very much for joining us and for your insight on the creation and birthing of CONvergence.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, and thank you for watching CONLink. Stay tuned for more content.